Welcome back, everybody, to another episode of the League of Interest podcast, Supercoach edition. What do we got, boys? We've got the team picker, team reveal number one. This is obviously become a famous episode now. It's one of our biggest, and we're very, very pumped to be bringing this to you guys. I know it was basically a kid at Christmas this morning. Jesse hasn't stopped looking at the app. I think his eyes have gone rectangle looking at his screen for that long. Me and Trav were stuck on a golf course, and all of a sudden we see it's dropped basically. So we had to hold our excitement somewhat until that round finished. So plenty to talk about tonight, though. There is so much. You've got the boys are back. Jesse, after his title defense last year, is smirking, grinning already. He believes he's firm favourite for another competition win. We will beg to differ. Got a few shout-outs and things like that too, but I just want to quickly get to the boys straight away. They've had a little bit of a time off. Trav, I'll go to you first, mate. How's your break been?
Have I really had a break? Like, let's be honest. I've still been working. The team picker came out today. You said that we were on the golf course, or how unlucky were we to be playing golf while we got to play around with Supercoach. Do you want to tell everyone who won too, by the way? Because you're the self-professed gun golfer, aren't you? But
nothing self-proclaimed here, mate. I'm a try-hard golfer, just a whacker. Been battling injury for a number of years now, and just a social golfer that almost came back from 15 strokes down today, guys. Trav did get the chocolates though, but it's a good start. Got through it all okay, which is great.
Professional social golfer. It's a thing. We did it today.
Yeah. Some can handle it, some can't. It's just some walk when others run. I like to run instead of walking, but here we are. Jesse, mate, your hair, we're talking off air. It's become a major talking point early on here. The longest I've ever seen it. I don't know what you've been doing in the off season, but perhaps perming.
I've been hiding in a cave, man, waiting for Team Picker to come out. I've just been waiting. And you know what? To be fair, there hasn't been much of an off-season this time around. I've been smashing Supercoach. My screen time is criminal, to be fair. NBA, NFL, EPL as well. I've just been friggin' – it's constant. It hasn't stopped. So, now NRL's back. It's like, cool. Another, channel of my life is going to be invested half the day. So, no, it's good. I'm keen as. But, yeah, haircut on Saturday. Don't worry.
I've got a couple of little announcements to make, to go over. So, firstly, the sponsors, shout out to Caxton Street Brewing Company, who are back again for 2026 throughout all our podcast posts and everything. They are a major sponsor. That's where our beer sponsor and our venue sponsors will be hosting a lot more shows and gatherings and things like that throughout the year. Stay tuned for that, including some Magic Round things, which is awesome to see. Connie's back with Freedom Finance Group as well, and he's got a little note for me to read out for you guys. Hopefully, being out one of our biggest episodes, anyone out there who does need some help financially, please reach out to Con and his team at Freedom Finance Group. So, hello, League of Interest fans. Have you been thinking about buying a home or refinancing your existing loan? Look no further than Freedom Finance Group. They make the process simple, stress-free, and best of all, they are offering an exclusive deal just for our listeners. So here's the offer. For any settled loans of $500,000 net borrowings or more, Freedom Finance Group will provide a one-time cash back of $500. For loans under $500K, they will assess them on a case-by-case basis. Let them help you find the best home loan solution tailored to your needs. Get in touch today and make the smart choice with Freedom Finance Group. I actually had a chat with Con a little bit earlier, and he said, to be honest with everyone out there at the moment, most obviously with Christmas things are not buying a house. What a lot of people are doing right now, and please make sure you chat to Con about this, is refinancing, trying to save money where possible. It's that time of year where every dollar counts. So make sure you're not just sitting there on a home loan that's been so many X years old. Make sure you're on top of it. Reach out to Con, please. Let him know the League of Interest boys sent you. They will make sure they look after you down to a T.
Now's the right time, Joel. The news yesterday was that it's looking like they're going. The Commonwealth are trying to pressure the RBA to push the rates up. They're not talking about any more drops or in the next couple of days. That's obviously hearsay, but now's the time. Go in and refinance, make contact with him.
100%. Shout out to our Legends group as well. That has been asleep almost for the last couple of months with obviously Supercoach, things like that. But we are going to start getting back into things. So if you're not a member there either, $2.99 per month. There's going to be some really exciting news for this group over the next probably month or so as well. But plenty of exclusive Supercoach content that will really help you guys build your teams as we approach season opening. And I'll be kicking these boys to make sure they're in there as much as possible, getting you guys the best content that we can see. So really appreciate and can't wait for that. Lastly, just with this show, so I'll be here for all the preseason stuff. So as we do our rundown, we do the position by position, we do team by team, in-depth analysis. You all love these season reviews, previews that we do. After that, though, in the season, you'll be seeing Trav and Jesse. I'll be taking just a bit of a step away, doing a bit more of the content stuff for these boys and making sure the posts and that are ready to go. And these boys don't need me anymore. They know exactly what they're talking about. They know how to host it all. And you all know them now well enough as well. So the last thing I'll ask before we get stuck into this episode, hit that like, subscribe button wherever you're listening or watching. It makes a huge difference to helping spread the show, helping spread the audience, and I know we all really appreciate it. But, boys, let's just get stuck straight into it, shall we? I feel like let's just get a team up. Let's just start talking Supercoach. I think that's the best way to these are all in I don't know what order either, so I'm going to have to quickly bring this up and we'll have a look at whose team it is.
Not mine.
That's me. So here, that's good. Actually, I can go off and quickly get it all done. So it's been a flat out day. Obviously a lot of personal stuff in there, so I'm not going to whinge about it, but just been flat out. We booked this in, as Trav said, off air before this actually came live, knowing what was going to happen. So we were stuck in a way, but I literally got on and did all this team about 10 minutes before coming on air tonight. So there'll be a lot of changes to this, but the joy of this is where we get to see our teams go to from this original episode. So for me, my hookers, I've gone Jakey Simpkin. Now I'll read them out for those that are listening on the podcast, not just watching on YouTube. Jake Simpkin and Phoenix Crosland. I tried to look for some value for players that I think are going to be playing big minutes in this position. And obviously with Lachlan Croker now retiring, Chen Kum Tong gone to the Bulldogs, there's not much going on at Manly. It's really that their reliance on Simpkin is huge at the moment. So I'm anticipating him to be basically an 80-minute hooker, if not very close to it on a week-to-week basis. And surely that means a bit of value there at 422. And Phoenix Crosland, similar, but he does have Matt Arthur in the waiting in the wings, who is a very, very good up-and-coming hooker. But I think they might ease him into things. I think Crosland might get some decent minutes. And even when he's not playing hooker, they did play this a bit towards the end of last year. He got to play a bit of lock and things like that. So at 381, I do not mind the Phoenix Crosland play either, boys. I've just tried to think in hooker, get a bit of value. It seemed to work quite well last year.
Yeah, 100%. Simpkin's a great pick, especially if he's going to have a good minute spread, because he's always been solid with, 70 plus minute games. The issue is he's just bench. He's just been in that 14. So had a quick look, and I looked at him before too. 20 games in 70 plus minute role, average 53. So it's pretty solid. There's definitely value there. I'd say at least 100K at a minimum, really. And if he's going to do more, perfect. I've seen nothing wrong with that move at all.
I don't mind that to start the year, especially if it allows me to play around and get some better players in other positions, which we've spoken about at length and we'll speak about a lot in this preseason, where you'd rather save that extra bit of money in these sorts of positions and spend high elsewhere in those big scoring positions, especially early on. My front rowers, I'll go Old Snape to get opinions and things like that, but I've gone one of the big dogs. I just felt like it had to happen, especially early on, where some of the attacking numbers are not quite where they are during the season. So I thought if I could just get some Terrell May action into me, I could I just missed out on a 14 Payne Haas, which was annoying, but if that means I'm stuck with May, then that's an okay problem to have. I've gone Koloamatangi as well now that he's basically confirmed a middle. I think that's almost a no-brainer with what he can do. I love the value in Paseka. We actually had a little quick chat off air. We all basically said it. So I'm glad I went that way. I went with Paseka and Valepu at the moment for the Storm, which we've spoken about him now, I feel like, for about 18 months. His time is about to shine. And surely it's now with no Nelson as well. Kamakamika has just been re-signed late. So whether he's up in that order or Valepu's now overtaken him as well. Trav, I just think the front rowers at the moment, I think you need to at least have one of those real big dogs still.
Oh, yeah, 100%. And Koloamatangi was one of the first ones I picked myself, so I love that choice. I'm not super high on Terrell May, and there'll be a content piece coming out pretty soon, won't there, Joel, about this, which one you go, just because Terrell May has that first round bye, and I just don't want anyone that's got I just don't want that first round by problem. So you'll see on my team later on. But yeah, the rest of it's good. I agree with Paseka. Valepu, look, to be fair, and it'll be the same with most of these bench spots, except if I'm now looking at your second row forward, your bench is not going to be mucked around with too much. But a lot of the bench is placeholders at the moment. So they're just holding some value there, and we'll just muck around when we get closer to the team and to team list Tuesday for us to pick who goes where and what happens. And they're just picking those places. So, yeah, but I am very high on Paseka as well, as you said. The only thing that's held him back is the fact that he's just been injured. He's just not been able to play.
Yeah,
but there's definitely.
To be fair, in my mad rush, completely forgot about the Tigers buy, so I'll definitely be getting rid of T-May, and I'll be putting Payne Haas in, and I'll be just accessing that extra couple of K that I need to make that happen. So there's the first victim and egg on my face there. The second row forwards, I had to go Tino. He's available there. I just had to make that happen. I really love what Jack Williams was doing last year at the Eels, and I feel like he's going to solidify that edge spot next to Moses, hopefully, who's basically fully fit. I really want to be part of that throughout the year. He just is an absolute workhorse, and if he spends time in the middle, which may happen at some stage because there's a few edge back rows I think might be on the bench for the Eels moving forward. So that's even just music to my ears, really. And Cam Murray, I think he's going to be extremely, extremely popular for super coaches, and rightly so. It's almost a bargain price when you think about Cam Murray, and I think everyone will be jumping on him. For my bench so far, Dave Feeder, I've brought into the hype for now. That picture the other day of that left edge, it looked amazing, and I want a piece of that. Maybe two pieces of that edge. So you'll probably see already. But Hilam Lukey, the coaching staff's already said he's in extreme nick. He's in just absolute top, which we've heard so many times. Super coaches are sitting there going, yeah, just don't. I've brought in once again, boys. I've had to do it. I have to. And Joe Chan for mine. I know there's a lot of Storm fans out there. I obviously put the team out that I predicted a few days ago. Up in the air about who gets that edge spot. It seems like there's legit 3 or 4 options that it could land on. For me at the moment, I'm probably predicting Joe Chan to get that, which I'd love from a Supercoach point of view. Being at 309K starting on the edge would be amazing. I feel like he's done a really good job, especially out of position a lot at center. Going back to his edge, I'd really like to see that. So for 309K, Bellamy, please make it happen. Jesse.
Yeah, I think Joe Chan, there's got to be some value there with obviously Toa's spot, and someone's going to take it, and whoever it is, they're going to be cheap. So regardless, we've got a good option. If it is Joe Chan, sweet. If it's someone cheaper, it's even better, really, to be fair. But Lukey, obviously, ready to be heard again, 400K. We've spoken at length about his PPM. If he can string, a few games together this year, fingers crossed for him. We say it every year, and it just sucks, but he's a demon, man. He's so good when he's on. So love that pick. For Feeder, you can't not have him at that price. Honestly, it's criminal. He's got to be owned by everyone. Same as Murray. He's really good value too. Jack Williams, I was going to ask you actually, what are your thoughts on DeBellin?
I think
Do you think it
DeBellin,
impacts
for
him
me,
at
I'd
all?
have him prop. No.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think I'd have DeBellin in the middle rotation with obviously Hopgood and Junior, and then Walker's coming off the bench. We've got Tuivasa as well. So there's a number of players there. I haven't even mentioned people like Dury in that as well. There's a pretty in-depth stacked forward pack at the moment at the Eels, which is a bit strange because I remember saying about 12 months ago the pack was something we really needed to fix up, which we've now done. So, yeah, I think he'll have an 80-minute edge roll. He's an extremely fit player, and I think 80-minute edge, and I actually like that.
Yeah. No, he was so good last year too. But 6'10's like, it's big money. It's big money. So it'd be a nice big pod play too. But the jewel is so handy now because there's not many at the moment.
My part.
There's not many at all.
That's the thing. That's what got me in the end, that jewel factor.
Yeah, love it.
Because I looked at my team and I went, I don't really have much in the forwards at the moment, so I need, which there is a player which I'm going to say you probably haven't put him in your team, so we won't talk about him yet, but there's another player that has caught my eye from the Broncos who is dual, which could easily become that player to save a little bit of money, but we'll see. Just quick one, Trav. For the Storm side of it, I've obviously said Joe Chan, and that's my prediction for it. What's your thinking at the moment about that position?
Katoa's edge. I have a feeling, and my thoughts are that it's Howarth will shift into the edge, in the edge back rower, and a Chan Leo type will fit into that center spot. I'd love to see Chan in the centers. When Chan played centers this year, he was fantastic, and I really enjoyed what he did. I think Lasati is also somewhere going to push some of those spots. So, yeah, there'll be a few. There's a few options. I'm not sure that there'll be. I don't think it'll be a cheapie. I just don't think we can afford to put someone like that into that position next to Hughes. That's a really important spot for us. Katoa's certainly changed the way that we play and how we shore that side up. So, yeah, I think it'll be Howarth moves across.
It's a tough one, because I remember this time 2 years ago now, it basically is. Yeah. We all, after the first season Howard had in the centers, we're like, this guy's all of a sudden become like a top 5 center within 12 months. Like it's ridiculous what he's been able to achieve. Unfortunately, very injury riddled, which has been the story of the Storm backline the last year. But it'll be interesting to see if that does happen. If he does shift a bit closer in, you can understand that he's basically been an edge forward his whole life. So you could understand why they would do that. It's natural. Like you said, it's a very key position, unfortunately. Thoughts with Katoa still. Who knows what's going to happen there. But that's presented an opportunity for, I guess, from a Supercoach point of view now, is exciting for us all. For my halves, it's a bit yuck. I'm not a massive fan of my halves at the moment, but it's the 10-minute before I quickly whacked it all together. So Mitchell Moses as my halfback at the moment. I've steered clear of a couple of the big dogs, purely price factor at the moment. I need to sit down and actually probably work all this out. I'll get Atkinson as my cheapie halfback. 5'8". Can't believe I've gone back there. Sorry, Jesse. Cody Walker, $399K. Was it that story? Was it that photo again? Perhaps. I don't know what it was, but there's a thought for me that $399 for a fully fit Cody Walker, fingers crossed. And he's had a massive preseason and basically didn't play this year. So hopefully he's basically fully fit. Surely feeding balls to the likes of Alex Johnson wanting to break the record for Feeder and Latrell. Surely that means try assists galore, even if he's just out there on one leg. So just go up, get me up to about 550, 600K, Cody. Then you can go, and I can go somewhere else with you. The other one I've gone, Jonah Pezzett, 235K, starting next to Mitchell Moses with, Papali's there, but I don't feel like there's not much pressure there for him at the moment. I think they want to give Papali one more year to really develop his game. So alongside Mitchell Moses, where if Moses goes down or is in Origin, Pezzett goes straight to the halfback. Everything revolves around him. I would love to have that there as well. So, Trav, you were I want to the talking point right now, guys, is going to be Cody Walker because there was two completely different reactions to this one. Jesse was disgusted, and I already knew that was coming. Trav was like licking his lips, going,
Show me the money, baby. Show me the money.
You're gonna see red in 3 weeks.
He's in my team, and I'm very happy. Yeah, I might be influenced by that left side picture, but damn, like $3.99, I could put him into a 5'8" Premier gun. Had a bad year this year, but so did the whole Rabbitohs team. Yeah, I'm all over that. Moses Atkinson, I reckon, is going to be the the most popular pairing in the comp. So I don't think it's that bad. So don't feel weirded out by that one. I think that's a good pick. And Pezzett is, I honestly think Pezzett's a fantastic pick at 235. I will just question you one thing, Joel. And I read a really well written and well done article that you wrote about Mr. Kobe Black. And why you haven't gone him, because I think he'll get that spot at the Raiders, and I think you have talked yourself out of it for some reason and went Atkinson.
Well, it was again a victim of me rushing to get this done. B, I think Kobe Black is a natural freak of a talent. I think the Raiders have I actually am gobsmacked at just how little. I'll remove this list while I'll just have a quick discussion. I'm just amazed at how little chat has evolved around this signing so far. It is actually massive. It's a massive, massive signing. He is beyond his years. There is no doubt about that. He could play in round one, and no one would bat an eyelid. They'd go, "Where's this guy been? Like, what's the Broncos done here?" The fact that we've all seen Pezzett play, and there's still many out there that believe this guy is better, and he hasn't even played first grade yet, should tell everyone what they need to know about Black. I'm just cautious about, at the moment, Ricky Stewart being a half, knowing what it's like, the NRL and rugby league. Will he go more cautious, knowing he's signed him for a longer-term deal? He's got Sanders there who can probably do a job just to start the year and then get Black in around that origin time, maybe where teams are a bit weaker. Get him in, get some confidence into him, and then away he goes. So, if it was up to me, I'd probably go Black straight in. But I have a feeling Ricky Stewart's done this to a lot, to Supercoaches a lot. He doesn't seem to be easy on what we have to do. But in saying that, Sanders is still cheap. I do feature him in my team at the moment. Sanders in a different position just to make it all work quickly. But I'm massively watching Kobe Black at the moment.
Yeah, me too. I agree with everything that you've said and wrote in your article.
Just a quick one. I'll ask you to this one as well then before we get back into it. But you mentioned that the Moses Atkinson half pairing will probably be, and Jesse even nodded to this one as well, would be extremely popular. Why do you think at the moment, is it purely just a price thing that people are steering clear of Cleary and Hines, or is it there's a bit more to it? I've obviously mentioned before, we've said it last year, that points do dry up a bit to start the year. So some of these guys just don't, and you're paying top dollar for them. So the value isn't quite there, where it might make more sense to go for that 500K halfback, free up almost 300K really, to go spend elsewhere.
I think there's a big change up in the halves this year. And like a lot of it is factored around money, naturally. Until we know a bit more, you know what I mean? Until we know who are the cheap options and stuff, and you can pull 200K from here or there and kind of make it work and get those Clearys and Hines and etc. But it's a difference too. Like you look at Cleary's run, it's not easy. Hines, again, it's one of those things. Do you start with Hines? Do you go without him? What are the Sharks going to do? Hughes, they've got no Katoa. How's that going to affect him? When it comes down the line and you start looking, you go, wow, Moses, less than 550. He's just lost Dylan Brown. There's more for him. He's just lost Lomax. So there's his goal kicking back. When you look at the other halfback candidates, and there's negative marks around all of them. There's some cloud over every one of them. For a start anyway, price point wise, because you think there's going to be a bit of a drop. When you look at Moses, I don't see how he can drop past 540. I think there's only up from there. And to build a team to start with, and you're trying to find every dollar you can, I like it a lot. And for your, for the discussion around Black or Atkinson or Sanders, between Sanders and Black, you don't know who's starting. You know, there might be a chop and a change here and there, but you know Atkinson will. You know, he's going to be the 7. It's done. It's locked in.
Is he goal kicker as well? Or have I heard that?
I don't know.
Or they'll stick with Flanagan.
Oh, who knows, man?
If he's playing. Who knows?
Yeah. So, you know, there could be more for Atkinson as well. So you've got a bit more security there with him. You've got an upside with Moses. I don't think.
Yeah.
Oh, true. There you go.
Yeah.
Forgot about him. Okay. So, yeah, I think that combination of the halves is going to be the most commonly owned by far. Yeah.
Look, Moses' choice, I think, how many points, honestly, do you reckon Moses will get extra kicking?
10.
Tries the Eels going to score.
10? I think the Eels will score more points this year. I think they're a better team. So,
for sure. 100%.
And if anything, they're going to get further up the field with the better pack. So it gives them even more opportunity for 2 points, you know, penalty kicks and stuff like that. So I think Moses is in line for at least a 10, if not 12. So an extra 10 points will give him a 64 average. A 64 average will make him 100K more. So I think there's at least 100K value in him early. I like their run. For Para, I mean, obviously it's a hard game first up, but still that first game, you just never know what's going to happen. So like I'm pretty keen on that. And the other thing that deters me, there was 2 halfbacks that I was pretty keen on to start with, and it was Cleary, and the other one was Walker. The Walker one, I'm just not sure about just yet because of the DCE combo and what happens there. So I want to wait and see with that one, but I'm really keen to get Sam Walker in my team at some point. And Cleary at 826K is a lot of money, and he's freaking worth it. Like, he averaged 84.5, but I don't like those first 5 games. So I'm happy to get him in early, maybe week 5 or 6 on the back of him hopefully dropping maybe 100K. Moses pushing up the 100K, and then I just got to find 100K somewhere else to do the math. So that's the reason why I haven't gone it. But to be fair, when I first picked my team, I put Cleary in and then realized, oh man, I just don't, the cash problems at the moment is an issue because I don't know who's where and what's happening with the rookies and stuff like that, or cheapies. So yeah, that's the only reason why I've gone there at the moment.
Yeah, 100%. All right, center wings. I've gone a couple of the big dogs. Herbie Farnworth, I just feel like that Dolphins back line and what I'm anticipating them to do, I think Herbie will be all in amongst that. I'm even tipping him to maybe do a bit of that roaming sort of stuff as well. So I just have to, even though it's really big bickies, I think he's the most expensive player I have in my team at 825K, but I just think he's almost must material at the moment. Val Holmes, I've gone as well, 734. So many people slept on Val Holmes, I've thought, this year from a Supercoach point of view, and he just consistently got some points. We just spoke then, like, he's obviously the goal kicker at the Dragons as well. The Dragons, they've got a really good young forward pack who all just fell to injuries, and that I actually think they've got a decent side, the Dragons, where I think they'll be in and amongst a lot of games, and I think Val Holmes is one of their go-to, especially on the edges. So I like the look of him at the moment. Brian Toe, 598K for the best winger in the comp, the guy that just doesn't stop, even when he's falling apart, which he was doing at the end of the year, and still pulling some incredible numbers out of his backside. Keep drinking those Coke Zeros, brother, because I want all of that to start and I love the fact that it's a hard draw to start with for Penrith, because it means he just has to get in and amongst it from the get-go. So I'm anticipating heaps of tackle breaks, a couple of tries in there, and probably a couple, maybe a try assist or 2 as well. Will Warbrick, really think there's a bit of value for Warbrick at the moment. 413K. I think his average was about 50 or so this year, so there's straight away a little bit of value there. But I just think there was a massive injury for him again this year. I'm just liking him after a full preseason. He looks really fit already, and it's only December. A lot of players do, I understand that, but there's just something about him at the moment. I think he has a point to prove. There's obviously World Cup to come into this as well at the end of the year. That New Zealand backline's already stacked. So if he wants a bar of that, he needs to go from the get-go, and I think he will. I've basically just chucked a few cheapies on the wing just to make it all work. So I've got Hoiter, I've got Macassini, which is a huge watch. He could be a really good cheapie for everyone out there. If he played that last game against the Titans, and I think he got like a 70 or something, didn't he, boys? It was a really good score. Plenty has been said about him. He was just too young this year that they kept him back a lot. Now he's basically doing a full preseason. Keep an eye on him, and if he can nab one of those wing spots, he could be a huge cheapie. And Tommy Chester. I don't have many Cowboys in my team at the moment because I just have no idea about him. I don't know what to trust for him, but a 216 fullback dual guy, whatever. It happened for my team for now, so it was it.
Can't knock it, man. Honestly, like you're locking your center wings down for the long term. It's. I think that's what's you're gonna see a lot more of too. I'm very quick to do the same. Just get good ones in. Hey, like that's where the points are. We've seen it for like 3 years in a row now. These center wings are popping out 80 plus, consistently. So, yeah, Herbie, Holmes, the best. They're at the top. They're the elite. You know what I mean?
And
great
Trav,
value.
I think we've seen. Sorry, I think we've seen this year. It's all about timing your runs with these wingers as well. Like these center wings, they can just go all of a sudden on those try scoring fests, and it's just boofs, off you go, money. See you later.
Yeah, Tuipulotu was a good one for that this year. Was he in 2025? And I got around that, and then was Devo when he got injured. But still, I think he got injured and still put out an 80 odd or something like that for me, and so it wasn't too bad. But look, Val Holmes is one guy I said for most of the year this year that I wanted in my team and just couldn't find a way to do it, and then he got injured. So that was shattered that happened. Brian To'o, there's going to be some content coming out about that soon, but at under 600k, that's just stupid to get a guy who's been averaging who can average 70 without it with a blink of an eye. Like he's literally done that for the last 4 years. Over the last 4 years, his average is 70. So like it's just. Yeah, Warbrick is one that I've had in my team that I'm really keen on. I just played around with the values a little bit, and he's now out of my team, as you'll see in a second. But I really like what he is doing. It was a freak injury this year. It was a massive head knock that he got that he just couldn't recover from. And when he came back, though, he looked fit as. Like those last 2 games, he was scoring tries. In finals, he was scoring tries. He was thereabouts. Like, Warbrick's only getting better. And I love that at 413 out on a wing.
Yeah, 100. Lastly, for me, fullbacks and flex. I won't get you guys to talk too much because I think this will be a bit different for each team and things like that. So I've gone Ponga for my fullbacks. I've gone away from the big guns. I just simply couldn't afford them, to be honest with you. I might look at a way to get at least one of them in. There might be some there, but at the moment, I really like the look of both of those that I do currently have. And in my flex, I did it last year with Iongi. I just started really cheap. At the moment, I'm going to do it again. At the moment, I've got Sanders. I'd actually prefer it to be black. I'd like to see black, but it worked for me this year. Will it happen? And that's how I start this year. Who knows? I'm not too sure. I might just change it to someone else who might be more consistent. I don't know what to expect from Sanders at this present time. But yeah, at the moment, I'll go in my flex a cheaper option for now. But let's go to the next side. Whose is this one?
That's mine.
Jesse.
Oh, there you go. Do you want to do yours first, or you want me to go over to Trav's?
No, I can do mine now.
Yeah.
It's already up.
Okay.
So,
yours has been up for all day with Supercoach.
It has been, actually. It's burnt my screen in. So I've started off same bench hooker, De Silva as yourself. Oh, you had De Silva, didn't you?
No,
you had Crossland. I've got different hookers then. I've got Reid Marnie and Talon De Silva. So similar reason to what you've picked Simpkin for. Reid Marnie moving to the Cows. Expected 80 minutes. I don't see him not doing that. They don't have any hooker depth at all, to be fair, with Robson gone. So expecting 80 from him, which he's more than capable of doing. And he's a 55 average guy.
Lawton's gone to Super League as well.
Oh,
no, he's gone. He's gone.
Yeah, gone. So, yeah, there's nothing there for him to take minutes away. He's going to be getting his 80. I would say, look, upside might be capped. If I put 2 together, I would say I'm going to see a bigger game out of Simpkin here and there, more than I'm going to see out of Marnie. But consistency out of Marnie is kind of what you want. I just want 50, 60 if I can, which I think is going to be guaranteed out of him, realistically, tackling as much as he will be. But yeah, it's low, man, 420. And that's really just off the back of what happened last year to him at the Dogs. So you kind of just take the price drop where you can. But he's never really averaged less than 50, 55 in a normal season. So easy value. De Silva, he's cheap. He's cheap. He's probably going to get some good minutes. Never plan on playing my second hooker in the first place anyway. So
yeah,
nothing really much more to add there, mate. Is there?
I love that. I've got the exact same hookers. Sorry for the team review, but I love it. I think Reed Marnie is a really good pick. There was content put out today, thanks Joel, about that and that choice. Like, he's taking over Robson. Is Marnie better than Robson? No, Robson's one of the best hookers in the competition, but I think Marnie's going to step into the role exactly like Robson is, and just do what he's got to do. I'm looking at this in very particularly around the same as what I did this year in 2025 with a Tom Starling. I just don't think Marnie's going to do worse than what a Tom Starling's going to do, and I'm actually pretty sure that he'll do the same, if not better, than what Starling did. And I was very happy that I had him in my hooker spot. So yeah. And TDS, like Joel, I'd love to get your influence here, or information, sorry, but they've got this guy. They did a lot to get him over from the Tigers mid-season. They're paying him good money. Well, it's better than good money. It's very good money for an age that he is. Surely he's their hooker now, and they find a way to do something around that.
No, I think he's off the bench still. I think Riley Smith is the hooker. He'll start. He'll get at least 40, 45 minutes, and then De Silva will come on to do some of the work with a tiring forward pack. I think there's still a bit of time for Talon De Silva, and I think Riley Smith is the now. And I'm not that big on Talon De Silva at all from a Supercoach point of view. I just don't see the minutes at the moment. Once, let's say, touch wood, hopefully from a Apparel fan point of view, it doesn't happen. But if Riley Smith gets injured, jump all over him, obviously, or jump over either of them if one of them gets injured, because it'll turn into an 80-minute hooker straight away. But yeah, I'm not. Obviously, he's cheap. It doesn't hurt. It's just to sit him there. I'm just curious. We said the last few years, I find it funny, we haven't done it again. Mr. Blake Brayley. We just never do it. And at the end of each year, we go, should have stuck with him. We should have picked him from the start, and away we go. Once again, we haven't. But this year, I think it's a bit different because he's
650.
Up towards, what is he? Yeah,
he's the most. By 50k. Yeah, by 50k, he's the dearest, and he's normally the 500k guy that you get for a 55 average. Which I'm thinking Marnie's that guy now. Like. We're talking get Brayley for the consistent 50-60. Marnie's the 50-60 guy if he can do it. So, and look, I haven't ruled out nothing my second hooker off the jump. Yeah. I'm looking at Kalani going, the new Panthers recruit, dual second row, even Bronson Garlic moving up a bit more in coin too. Like, there's other options there, but I'm looking at more than likely just a straight second hook enough. I don't need it. You don't need your second one. You don't rotate hookers. You don't reserve your second hooker. Take the coin, dual enough. That's probably on the cards too. So
I don't mind that. I don't mind that at all.
Yeah. Front rowers, I've gone with Payne Haas and Keon Kalamatangi. So I couldn't not have Haas. I did look at May initially too, and I threw him straight in. The first two people I put in, then I went, oh, May's on a bye. I'm not doing that. That's not happening. And Keon can do what May can do. I'm kind of expecting a small regression in a way from May as well. He had a lot to prove last year. He had to come out and do a lot. I just don't know if they're going to expect as much from him, or if he's going to do as much. I don't think it's, I don't think he's going to drop 20 points in average. I think it's still average, probably 70 plus, but maybe a little less. So I'm not ruling out a move to him in the future, but I won't be starting with him. Paseka, insane value on the bench, and Hopwood is just a placeholder, I would say, for the moment. If he's enough, he's enough. If he plays games, he's got a decent base, could be something, but the bench at the moment, just whatever it is. Kind of we spoke a bit about your front row. It's pretty similar.
Yeah.
Joel?
Yeah. I really, that Hopwood shout, really keep an eye on him this year, 2026. There's so many big raps on him from any coming out of Newcastle, and he just needs that go. And at the moment, the Knights fullback, let's be honest, dog shit.
They need
They're
it
not
one.
doing much. They need someone like him to come out and of the woodwork and do what he's been spoken about for a while now. And they've been quite patient with him, which is good to see. Some of these young forwards, they go straight early with him and it just scars them. But this time they've been quite patient with him and keen to see he could develop into a really good cheapie that everyone jumps on very, very early.
That would be nice. I would like that. You're going to say something, Trav? Sorry.
No. I was just agreeing.
Easy. Second rowers. I've gone to Angus Crichton at 6'10". I really like the Angus Crichton pick. I think with Cherry Evans inside him, potentially, I think it could be a lot for him. But I've also got Dave Fafita, like everyone should have, and Helam Lukey, like everyone will have. That'll be my starting three, I reckon, if it all goes well. Anyway, I just think there's value between all three of them. On the bench, I've got Jermaine McEwen, Piakura, and Ryan Couchman. So McEwen was really solid last year for the Knights. His base was insane. I expect him to start. I hope. I don't know too much what's going on at the Knights, but Pierce Paul's gone. Whether it's Frizzell back on an edge or if there's any sort of rotation that changes up, they've got that other fella as well, Thomas Cant as well. So someone else will take that spot. McEwen potentially could be the guy. He was really good last year. I had him in draft when I needed him too when he was flying. Solid. So I'm very happy if he gets a go. He looks good. Piakura is cheap. Probably going to start too. 300k, you can't really go wrong. We've said that about Piakura before and have gone wrong. So I'm keen to move that to someone else if I can, but, limited in money. And then Ryan Couchman's, we'll see. We'll see what happens there. He's cheap enough anyway to throw on the bench, but he's coming back from a pretty hefty injury. Dragons have got some movement around. Players have left, so he could, take a bench spot. Could just do something. But again, it's all placeholder bench stuff at the moment. But I'd say realistically, second row is probably my weakest position, and that's with Angus Crichton and Fafita. Hoping they do what I hope that they do. Especially Crichton, contract year, Cherry Evans inside him. There's a lot there that can happen for him. I can't see Fafita being an issue though at his price. Boys?
Yeah. Oh, sorry. I love the Fafita pick. He'll be very highly owned. McEwen, no one, I don't think will be owned at all. So that'll be a really good pod for that. Piakura is going to be highly owned as well. But I'm just not going there. I'll happily watch him get some big scores and then maybe pick him. And then I'll probably regret it once I waste a trade to get him in because he'll probably miss out and then I'll have to use another trade to get him out. Yep. But yeah, that's annoying. I'm very keen on Crichton myself as well. I had a good end of the year last year. So I would like to get him in at 610. I think is good value for a premier second row forward. And, it's funny, how, geez, it sucks not being able to pick Ellie Katoa as your first pick.
I hate it. Hey,
it sucks. It was one of those ones where I was like, I really want to get him. I'm going to get him to start with. And then just went, actually, I can't. So let's find elsewhere. But yeah, love that Crichton pick, especially if you think he's going to find that 2024-23 form. If that's what he does, then yeah, what value at 610?
Yeah, well, it's just it dropped off because he didn't have a proven solid 5'8" inside him. It was a tricky year for the Roosters in the halves trying to work out that combination early, and it obviously affected him and his output because he couldn't do what he could with Keary there. I just hope, a bit of experience. And whether it's Sam Walker in the 6 next to him or in the 7 playing on the left, whatever happens, their halves are fantastic. He's got some good players right next to him. So, yeah, I can't see it being bad, especially not at 6'10". But I'm keen to see what his ownership will be because I don't think it's going to be too high, to be fair.
Yeah. I'm very keen to see who gets that edge spot on the Knights side because I think there's some really good value. Obviously, everyone always talks about had a mental blank on his bloody name. Who, sorry?
Lucas?
No. Lucas. Sorry, Lucas. And now, obviously, he's lost his jewel, which does hurt. It hurts a lot, but he obviously always gets the limelight, and rightly so. He's one of the most expensive edge back rows in the game to start with this year. And the other side of the fence. Very keen to see what happens. McEwen or Kant, whoever gets it, I have a feeling will be in a lot of teams. There'll be some pretty good value there because unlike a few of the last few years, actually a conversation that came up on the golf course today. Shout out to them, but you've had Hastings and Cogger as your halves basically for a while now. This year you're going into it with the likes of Dylan Brown, Sandon Smith, or Fletcher Sharp. All three are very good, so it doesn't matter what side of the field you're on. As an edge back rower, you should be getting some really good attacking ball. Should be able to hit some holes with Ponga around as well to do offloads and things like that. I don't think they'll do great this year from a team point of view, but I think from a Supercoach point of view, there could be some really good Knights players to make sure we get onto, and there could be some good money earners there.
Man, the Knights are always super Supercoach relevant, 1 through 7. You know, that 1 to 7 for the Knights are always great. So if the edges can, stand up, Lucas already does. Man, they could have an appealing team. For the halves, I've gone the same as you, man. Moses, Atkinson. I'm not really going to go on too much more about those two. We kind of did with your team, but look, they're going to be great. They're going to be pretty solid, I think. Solid enough, anyway. I've actually gotten a good 5'8", though. That's the difference. I've got Cameron
that makes
Munster.
me nervous.
Yeah, I've got Cam Munster. There's only 2 5'8s really in the game. One of them may play on the wing with Sharp, so I don't know yet. But Cameron Munster's Munster. I don't have to worry about a thing now, man. 5'8", set and forget. I'm happy with it. And Pezzett on the bench. So I think that's an easy one for me. What do you reckon?
It's tough, isn't it, Trav? I agree with you, Jesse. There is only 2 5'8s, but one's Cameron Munster and the other one's Cody Walker. So it's just a decision.
I'm not finding it tough. Don't know what you're talking about. I'm very happy there. I actually think I'll give a shout out to another one that I think's an up and comer, and that's Ethan Strange. He'll get better. Yeah. He averaged 62.4 this year. He's going to get better. The problem is that he's 610. If I'm going to spend that, I'm finding another 70K to get to Munster. But don't sleep on Ethan Strange and how good he can get. And the other one that I'm also very keen to watch is Chanel Harris-Tavita. He's at 540, average 55, but he just didn't do much, but still got a good score. I'm happy to get that in that 5'8", because 5'8" is volatile.
It is volatile, which is why something solid like Munster is probably going to be the way to go about it. You're talking volatile, and you've gone for the most volatile 6 in the game. So, I don't know. And I've also, you know what? And to be fair, I don't know if it's the Roosters coming out, but I want to see what Cherry Evans does, and I don't mind it at 6'18". Hey, I really don't. I don't know if it's the whole Roosters thing. I really don't. But it's interesting. You're getting Cherry Evans as a 6. What is that? What's that about? Is it going to change much? Is it going to happen for him? His ownership's going to be less than 1%. Obviously, it could be good, man. It could be good. So, but yeah,
wait.
Is there a world where Munster gets actually more ball this year, thanks to obviously very unfortunate the Eli Katoa situation, but Hughes has lost his right-hand man, so to speak. It will take a while for that combination to build up. Is there a chance that maybe Munster demands a bit more and works with Blore? I actually thought throughout the year that combination between Blore and Munster started to develop quite well in a few of those games. And I know there's some Storm fans out there that are pretty harsh on Blore, maybe because they're not happy with him shopping himself on the market, and rightly so. Fair enough. He's your player. You want to keep him. But there were some good moments there, and I think they can build on that. And Munster being Munster, no more Paps as well. There's just that extra bit more to do with the ball, and I think that straight away goes to Munster, and he really takes control of everything, especially, again, World Cup year. There's no doubt he will have that 6 jersey, but he'll just want to make sure he's in tip-top nick.
Yeah. I think when, we mentioned this last year as well, when it came to players in and out and Storm combinations, it was Cameron Munster that benefited the most from Katoa, not Hughes. It was always Munster all the time, whether it's the crossfield kick or whatever it is. It was Munster and
negative,
Hughes, not Hughes and Katoa. It was other way around. So I don't know. I think the Pap thing's kind of gone under the radar a little too. No one's really mentioned too much about the potential of an uptick in the spine as a group with no Pappenhausen. They have to do more. They've got no fullback now, and they're going to rely Sewer potentially as their replacement for him. So
Pretty good.
he's good.
Pretty good
Like
replacement.
100%, he's definitely a good replacement. But like, footy IQ side of things, he's not
Yeah.
Munster or Pap. Like,
He's
a
still a
different
baby.
Exactly. So like they're going to have to take a bit more leeway than, more responsibility than they're going to give to him if you wouldn't have Pap there. He's got to do a lot, man. And coming off the year that he's just had, like I think Munster's got to be the guy at 5'8". But I say it every season. So
Munster was the guy. Munster still is the guy. I think you'll just get the same as what you got from Munster. I don't think he's going to get more ball. Remembering that this year he played a large chunk of the year without Hughes. So,
yep.
And did what he did. Hughes is back. I don't think Katoa not playing is going to get Munster or less ball to Hughes, and Munster gets more of it. I think he's just going to be the same, and that's bloody good, and you'd be happy to have it. I don't think he's going to lose points.
Yep. If you're looking for value at 5'8", it's not Munster as far as getting cash.
That's your premium. That's your premium guy that you're saying I'm locking him in. I'm not going to play with that till Origin.
Yep, 100%. That's it. Easy.
Centre wing. Wow.
My centre wing. Yeah, my centre wing's pretty, isn't it? I've gone with Jacob Carraz, Cale Iro, Ruben Garrick, and Brian Toto to start. So 1, 2, 3, and 4. Lock them in. That's the 4 that I strived for last year. So late on. I've started with them. There's a good chance I don't start with Carraz and Garrick, truthfully. They've got early buys. Carraz in round 2, and I think Garrick in round 4. So, yeah, Bulldogs definitely round 2. There's a world where I don't start with those 2, and if it's not them, it's Herbie and probably Gagai, to be honest. And I can afford that. I've looked at those 2 as a combination. So, I like it. I like it a lot, and I think I'm going to go for premiums to start with. I don't think there's too many things happening in centre wing at the moment that we know. Outside of like Leia Tower, I really like him at 450. I really like Warbrick in the low 400s as well. There's a couple of candidates around, but I think for another 100 or 50 odd K, you're getting into such good value. Even Cobbo too at 500. There's a few people that are like kind of standing out to me early on. So I will play with it here and there, but I think with the way that I've structured the cash around, I'm gonna invest a lot into the starting center wing. So those are the 4 for now. They're obviously elite options when it comes to anyone that you're going to get. They'll be top 10 picks at the end of the season. The bench is just cheap. I've got Moses Leo, Macassini, and Cody Ramsey. Ramsey, I don't expect to get a game this year, or if it is, it's through Origin. So he's just going to be that dual whoever. Hopefully someone else puts their hand up. Leo, there's a chance, and Macassini, we sort of got a glimpse of him last year. So just cheapies for now. But they the starters are kind of where I'm going all in.
There's not much to say about that centre wing. I think that's a really good start. Are you nervous that the points are not often there to start with, or you're happy just to literally wear maybe a couple of not quite their scores for the long haul? Like you don't have to waste trades with that. You can keep that going for a while.
Yeah, I can definitely keep it going for a while. If I'm talking about making cash and stuff, I might drop one of them down. I was looking at some numbers, potentially Garrick without Cherry Evans seems to be a bit of a regression. So that could be something to consider too. Plus there's an early buy to contend with. Look, I threw this team, when I was going through it, I was kind of throwing in the guys that I really like and who I want to see there. I don't think I could live without starting without Herbie. So Carraz on the early buy can probably be Herbie, and then it's just money after that. It's just who can I get?
I think your point, Joel, is a really good one, and it's a great question to ask the community about their thoughts of early days. Defense is really primed. Pre-seasons teams have been looking really hard into their first few rounds to get off to a good start. But Carraz, Iro, and Toto are not attacking stat dependent scorers. Like they're just hard workers, right? So it's all runs, it's tackles, it's tackle breaks, it's tackle busts, it's well, that's the same thing, but it's line breaks, all that sort of stuff. Like that's what those 3 guys do, and they run 20 to 30 times a game. The only one out of those 4 that is attacking dependent is Garrick. He's not a super hard working guy. So if anyone was to move out of those four and that you'd have any worry about it, it'd be Garrick. Obviously, Manly have that bye in round 3 too, which is a little bit annoying. Carraz has the round 2 bye. But, the thing with centre wingers is that you've got 3 on the bench too, and hopefully there's always going to be some cheapie that scores well to start off with. There always is. So hopefully you can get a Carraz, keep him there, plug him that, and then just bench him for that 1 week with the hope that one of those rookies is going to be that score. Like, you can do that in the centre wingers. That's sort of my position on that. But, it's a ripper of a centre wing.
Yeah, and worst case in that situation too, they flex out, you know, and if you've got something there, you can get away with it. Like if it's an early buy, you can kind of get away with it. You don't want to be putting 700K in your bench in the second week, but you can potentially not miss the score. But yeah, look, the more I'm even just talking about it out loud, and I was looking at this before we went online too, Carraz and Garrick are probably going to be Herbie and Gagai. Potentially not Gagai. I might go cheaper. Down into that sort of lower 400 bracket just for the extra coin to do something with. But yeah, that's just...
Join me with Warbrick.
Yeah, there's a good shout, man. Dead set. For like low price, there's a good run there. So that'll give me more money for the rest of the team anyway.
You need 60K to go from Carraz to Herbie.
Yeah.
You could almost just go Garrick down to, I don't know, there's so many options. Taylor May is supposedly going to have a big year this year. There's 50K saved.
Spion. I'm $100 off Marju. That's rough. Either way, we can do this at another time.
He won't even be playing.
Yeah, you will. I like Gags. I like Cobbo too for whatever reason. There's a couple there, but that's just the fun of team picking.
Just before you move on, just a quick one. I need to give him a shout out. Mr. Iro himself, KL Iro. He's a super coach. I like looking at him in that team. I did look at him before I picked Herbie. I had the money to pick Herbie, luckily, but he's almost one of those guys where I have him in that almost must have to start the year because of what Trav rightly just said earlier, because no matter how grindy those games are, he's going to end up with at least a 60 for you, just to start with. And you'll be sitting there going, like looking at your phone with 10 to go going, how did he just get onto 75 points? Like, it's just ridiculous what he does. And then all of a sudden you look up and he's crashing over to go up to 100. You're like, oh, sweet. Okay. Yeah. Thanks, Hero. Like, that's doing it again. So he's one of those guys, I reckon, make sure you almost must sort of have him in to start you. I just think he's that good.
He's that good.
And Titans at home, Penrith away, Dolphins at home, Raiders away, Wars at home. That's his first 5.
Yeah. I love that a lot, to be honest. He's one of those dudes where if you don't have him, you're trying to work out a way to get him. And if he gets 70 in base, then you're like, God, he's going to get... His try-scoring streak was what, like 8-9 games before he got injured last year too? Something ridiculous. And I just don't want to mess around with it. I just want big, base-heavy centre wingers that'll always do a job regardless. And if they get that try, it's a ton, And early, I think it's going to be important. And for my fullbacks, gone a little cheaper.
This is very, very sexy.
Yeah, I love it. Hey, look, I was so vocal about Keeney. Keeney's the guy, 100%, without a doubt, going to be in my team. And he is definitely. Ponga at 600. The guy averaged 85 the season before last and 95 the year before that. Had a down year. The Knights are improving drastically, you hope. That's insane value at 600. Like I'm comfortable buying Ponga at 900 almost every year. To get him at this discount, give me that every day. And Trey Fuller, I'm getting a bit hot and heavy on this one too. Expecting him to start at fullback. Played one game, scored 88 last year. The season before that was pretty much putting up a ton almost every other game. Yeah, if he can get a go and get that starting fullback at his price, mid 500s, that's just value. All three of the fullbacks in the flex included. I'm expecting green for a while out of all of them.
I'm watching Fuller with like eagle hawk eyes, man. Like if he gets that fullback spot, he's in my team, and I'll be trading one of those guys that you'll see on my team down to him straight up, and I won't even think about it.
Yeah,
I want him so much.
I'm shocked we don't see the name Jay Tedesco in this team. I know how much you love the bloke.
I do, of course I
I'm
do.
surprised you didn't vote.
Yeah, I do, dead set. But, you know, when you're looking at 870K, I don't know where I'm going to find almost 300K to get my best priced fullback up to him.
I got a great
anyway.
option for you. Munster to Cody Walker. Bang.
No chance. Couldn't do it. I wouldn't do it. I'd part out some of my center wing before I do that. Genuinely. But yeah,
no,
that's my team.
Good. That's
Day one, and I love it, to be honest. I don't know how much more I can change.
Oh, you'll find some ways. Don't
find
worry, guys. We'll get you some content over the next few weeks of just what sort of team Jesse put together. I'll make sure he puts it into the Legends group. So
we have to lock him down with a contract of some sort. Anytime he clicks save, he has to screenshot and send it. Let's see how many times and contract it down.
How good are Meta's servers?
If you guys want to see some kind of team made up of however you want it to be or to look, put it in the comments. Let us know. YouTube, podcast, message the page, whatever. We'll make sure Jesse gets it done. If you want to see a gunless team, if you want to see a team with the average price, what it could be, whatever it is that you want to see, we'll make sure it happens.
Let me know.
A
team of bottom 4 teams. Who knows? Whatever you want, let us know. We'll get Jesse onto it.
Yeah.
Last but not least, this would be Mr. Trav himself.
Yeah, that's right.
Hang on.
Yeah,
put me off.
No, you have, but it's all right. Don't stress. I just went read Marnie to Silva. We've spoken about that pretty heavily over the last couple. It sucks going third, to be honest. We've spoken about all this already, which means we can go quickly. But yeah, Marnie and De Silva. I have said the same thing to Jesse, or that Jesse said about De Silva is. It's either I'm going to wait and see what he does, and if he locks that starting role, or I hear that he's going to get 60 odd minutes, he's in my team. Otherwise, I'll be nothing. That's that second hooker. Marnie, I feel like Marnie's my Tom Starling from this year, except Tom Starling was cheaper. And I'm happy to have that. Haas and Kula-Matangi, no-brainer, easy picks. Had no problems picking those guys. We've spoken about them. I think Pahulu is, and I've put a reserve, as you can see there. I just think he's ready to go. He was a big signing for us to get him from the Gold Coast Titans. We put a bit of effort to try and get him during the season, which we did. I'm very happy to have him in at 268 and think that he will be somewhere in that 17. And then I've just picked Bunty Afoa. To be fair, that's just a place getter, hoping that there's a cheapie come along that either he changes to or he just sits there. Second row is...
I love Bunty.
Hang on, I shake seeing that because that just gives me Royce Hunt vibes. Seriously,
I'm surprised you don't have Royce Hunt back in your team, man. Like, how good is he looking?
Cheaper.
Like, how good is he looking? He's cheaper and he's looking fit as fire, man. Yeah.
No.
Second row is look. If it wasn't going to be Katoa, I wanted to find someone that's that elite guy. I'm happy to pay up for it, and I wanted Hudson Young. So that was my first choice in the second row. So I went Hudson Young. Super keen on Cam Murray. Like, he's dismissed this year. He's came back, played that last game in the 25 season. Apparently is just looking fire in preseason. People are really happy with him. So I'm keen at that. Cam Murray at any sort of previous history value, form, not value. And I think at 548 is great. Fafita at 485. We've spoken about him to the nth degree. Lukey, I'm happy to take that risk on him. He's at a good price where there's going to be that if he does get hurt early, I can drop him down, or I can play with a little bit of money because there's a lot of value in the 2RF. There is some serious value along the road. Like, there's Nick Herrera in the 500s. Like, there's some good money in people in that area. So it's not hard to push Lukey up to someone under 600K between there. And it's also not hard to push him down in a trade. So I'm pretty happy to have him. And to be fair, who else at the Cowboys is going to do anything? Like I'm sorry to say it, and it's only taken me till December the 17th to have a crack at the Cowboys, but that they were so reliant on him this year. They really need him to do something, so he's there. And then Lasardi and Kalani going are just play setters at the moment. We'll just see. I'm pretty keen on Lasardi, to be fair, but at that 270, it's a good sort of cheapy price. So there'll be someone that will pop up. So I won't bother talking about that. My set two RFs are pretty different to you two boys.
I love the Hudson Young pick, man. God damn it. God, he's good. He just terrifies you. You know, you see him in any team, you see him in a head-to-head, and you're like, fuck, I'm going to get flogged here. It's a good one, hey. It's a really good one, especially off you saw last year. We spoke enough about him. Yeah, I love it. Can't knock it at all. Same as everything.
Was he
else,
off the Fogs?
No.
Nah, man, he's on the left. He was off Strange. It's going to be so good this year too. He's going to get so much more of it. Yeah, man, it's the goods. Just got to see what the Raiders do. You know, like I just think they're going to roll from last year pretty well, but I just don't think anything affects Hudson Young. I think he's immune to any pressure. Elite player.
And has a good, like, he's got the Eagles first. He's got the Wars over there. Look, a tough game at home, but against the Bulldogs, but it's at home. Hopefully by round 3, they've started to really work on combos, and he's got that. Then he's got the Sharks, and then he's got the Knights. That's his first 5. Then he's got the Rabbits. Then he's got the Storm and 7. So, you know, that's his first 7.
It's a good run. It's a good stretch without a bye too. Like it's consistent. You can just rely on him. So there'll be probably a captaincy shout once or twice in that mix as well.
Round 11 bye for the Raiders.
It's a long run. It's good. Also, sorry, I just didn't interrupt. Nanai's out for a while, isn't he?
Yeah.
I think so.
Yeah.
Yes.
That's another thing you mentioned with the Cows. What are they going to do? Like, I know I was pretty keen on Nanai going into it to begin with, just before Team Picker came through, and obviously he's been ruled out for quite some time. Has to be so much more for Lukey again. Just, you know, increases his stocks even more.
Yeah, 100% agreed. Anything,
Cool.
Joel? Or keep going. Keep going. I've got Moses and Atkinson. As I said, I think that's just that was my first saved team halfback combination. I think that'll be most. We've spoken about Walker and Pezzett to the fair bit. And look, Joel, you said it right, and Jesse can be pissed as he wants to be, but
I'm not pissed.
Let's. This is a Premier 5'8". Yeah, he's at the end of his career. I do agree. He is. It's definitely at his end of his career. I'm not expecting Cody Walker to be anything like his prime time here, but what I am expecting is Cody Walker to push up 100, 150K pretty quickly with what he's got beside him. When he's got Fafita beside him, he's got Mitchell beside him, he's got Johnson wanting to get tries beside him, then he looks to his right, he's got Kel Matangi running off through the middle. Like, Cody Walker is the guy. And who's actually going to play halfback for him? Like Humphreys, right? And Humphreys is he's not a playmaking guy. So the ball's just through Walker's hands. So I'm not expecting Walker to be anything like his prime, but I'm sure as hell thinking Walker's going to be a massive improvement. And I think he's going to get to that 520. And if he does that, as soon as he does that, it's straight to a Munster, which is only going to cost me maybe 100K. Like, you know, that's all I'm hoping for.
Yeah, that's pretty much what you'll get, I reckon. Like, he's at a good price. He's not going to do too much worse than he's priced at already. He's got everyone in his arsenal to get him to a 50, 60 average pretty quickly. I just don't like it. That's just something in my core. I just I don't want it. I don't want to know about it. But it's not my team. It's not my pick. And I respect it because it's money. But yeah, it is what it is.
So centers, look, this is going to change a fair bit. I'm not happy with that 4th spot, but at the moment it's just team picker time. And I'll tell you how I'm looking and what I'm thinking about. But at the moment, Herbie was probably the first person I picked. I wasn't going to stick anywhere away from that. Herbie is a freak, and I want him in my team. Look, I got sucked in and probably have been sucked in, but I'm really keen on this. Latrell Mitchell I've got in my centers. Worst case scenario is Jai Gray. You know, there's still it gets injured or doesn't lock that fullback by the time it starts, which is unlikely, but he doesn't. So Latrell goes back to fullback, and I'm happy to have that. Or Latrell is just a freak in the centres, as we all think he is, because we all rate him, or most people rate him as possibly one of the best centres in the competition in the world. And off he goes. So I'm pretty happy with him there. It's a bit of difference. Brian Toto, as I said before, is just a workhorse. I have him there at under 600K. He was one of the first 5 that I was looking for his value. What's his value? As soon as Team Picker opened, and I went straight to that and had a look at that. Macassini, there's huge wraps on. I don't like this 4th spot. I will be honest, but I think Macassini will be on my bench, and I'll find a way to get someone in there. I'm pretty keen to put a cheapie as a 4th center winger, so I'm keen to do a little bit differently. So I'm hoping someone pops up. So that's kind of my game plan there with my centers, and then obviously Leo, Jesse McLean, and Cody Ramsey's just place getter. I'm not intending on him being in there when it actually happens.
Fair.
You're missing someone. You're missing Alex Johnston. You got the whole left edge.
Yeah, that's going to hurt.
So now this is the chat. So look, I've got Kulawatangi, Murray, Fafita, Walker, and Mitchell. 5 Rabbitohs. I can't have 5 Rabbitohs in my team by round 4. So it's either I deal with it for the first 3 weeks and find a way to try and, or one of them fails and I push it around. I'm actually, if anyone does go, it's my first thought is Fafita, just because I'm just not 100% on what he does. And Bennett is a masterstroke, but is he really? Like, we've just watched what he did at the Rabbits in 2025. Like, is he really going to make that big difference on Fafita? Is Fafita actually going to completely change his mindset? Because this is what it was. It was his whole mindset than anything. We all know he's talented, but so he's probably my first option that I get out. And then it'll be in priority, then it'll be Latrell Mitchell down to someone. And that'll be the first 2. So look, there'll be big changes. This is Team Picker that I picked in the morning of the first day it opened. So, but yeah, I'm pretty happy with those 5. It's just whether I start with them by the time it comes to that point.
It's heavy investment.
Cool.
Yeah.
Fafita's probably for mine. Fafita's one of the last ones I'd get rid of himself. Like for me, I'm looking at Latrell at 626 going. I think there's so much better value in the center wings at the moment than a 626 Latrell Mitchell.
Yeah, I think so.
I'm very high. I'm very high on him.
He's got a lot around him. He has a career average of what he's priced at currently from center. So upside, there's none. He has actually got a significantly better average at fullback. Best case scenario, he goes back to fullback at some point in the year, gets a duel, and then you can play him in a center. But again, Jai Gray, man, he's a good player.
He is.
Yeah. He doesn't even have a duel. That's the thing that sucks. He's straight out center wing.
You wouldn't play him as a fullback if he was in the centers anyway. That's the thing. Like, the more valuable position for Latrell is the center, which he has. Which, last year when he was fullback, we were asking for the dual center. Now he's got center, and it's just like, I don't know if I want him. It's like, what are you doing? It's a bit silly. Still expecting the goal.
Latrell Mitchell.
Yeah, it's Latrell. Like, he's going to do so much fucking work there. Like, he's going to do a lot, man. If he's on that side, between just gun, like, yeah, I expect big things. I just don't know if I'll commit to that many Rabbitohs before they buy. That's all it is.
It's 3 games. It's 3 games for them buy hits.
Yeah, 3 games. Get a look. There's probably not going to be too many significant price changes. Fafita could go up quite a lot at his price point. Keon, maybe not. Murray, maybe not. Latrell, probably not, because they're all around where they'll be. I think you can play it safe and wait, to be honest, and not hurt yourself for 4. But yeah, if you got them, you don't have to worry. So I think 4's kind of where you go. Cap it at 4. 5's going to hurt you. My early opinion, if it means anything.
I think.
But I like it.
I think you're spot on.
Yeah. But you need a 4th center. We didn't have the Jesse Arthurs of last year.
Not yet.
But
and look, we had this exact same conversation. Yeah, like we just switched things around. But we had this exact same conversation in the team picker choice last year and multiple times during the preseason, is that there's no cheapies, and there was a crap load that turned up. So it'll pop up. They'll be there. It's just who it is and whether I can get onto them at the right time. But yeah, that's kind of where I'm sitting. And I at this point in time, I want that fourth spot to be a cheapie because of what I want to do everywhere else. My fullback.
Just a heads up. Just before you get it, just one more head, just so you know and are aware, it's the wrong McLean, brother. Just learn from me who did that in season.
No one's dumb enough to make that choice. Oh, actually, except you.
Actually, you know what? There's a good shout for Jesse McLean this year.
There is.
So, I wouldn't.
No way.
Yeah.
I can't even fit Jenkins into the side at the moment. Jenkins is before McLean.
For sure.
Yeah.
Good shout.
Yeah, it'd be interesting to see.
Just wait and see. I reckon.
It'd be interesting to see.
Mr. Insight, mate.
I've got no eyes and ears in Penrith. Trust me, I just have a vibe. I like his name.
Fullbacks. So I went all out. So I thought, shit, I'm sick of not having Teddy. So I'm having him. So I put him in, and so I've got him there. He's sitting in the flex with a VC sitting on him. And then I've also gone in my fullbacks. I've got Keeney. Keeney's a no-brainer. I had him in 2024, raved about him then. He got injured, didn't get him, watched him this year. Again, watched him do really well in the international series when he became the full-time fullback. It's his spot, has to be at $4.95. That's just stupid money. Keeney's in my team. And look, Reece Walsh, in my opinion, is the best fullback in the competition. So I want him in there. I know that Reece Walsh turned it on when the halves were an injury problem and the ball just went through Reece Walsh's hands. He's probably one that I'll look at dropping. There is some really good value in the fullback position, like as you had with Fuller. And I said before, like if Fuller gets named as that fullback, he's in my team. Ponga at 600 saves me 200K. Like there's my way to push like Reece Walsh down, still get a stud fullback and push that fourth center winger up or whatever and play around with some stuff. So there's options there for me. But yeah, I think Teddy's going to stay. I'm not going a third year in a row where I say I want Teddy, don't do it, and then just watch from afar and then have to get him at some point when he's more than 900K. So that's where I'm at.
Yeah, that's so hot, man. Teddy's one of those dudes where you get him now and he goes up in price after 3 weeks. You know, like he's a captain every week. It must feel good having him in there.
It feels great. I will admit.
Yeah,
and I've got to find it. I got to find a way to not do the urge to get him out like I have the last few years, and then sit there and come round one and go, "What the freaking hell are you doing, Travers?"
Yeah, that'll happen. That'll happen. I think you can probably afford to go down a Walsh. You could even go to Jai Gray and have more of Rabbitohs. There's another. It's that, you know.
It's a good shout because Jai Gray's good. He's a good
really
player.
Good.
He's a very good player.
And
look, Jai Gray and fullback, I'll just push Keeney in, and then he just sits on the bench for a week and has a game off.
Sorted. There you go. We've already done it.
The other issue with the Broncos that I've got with Walsh is that they have Penrith, then they have Para, which are improving, then they have Storm, then they have the Dolphins. So like it's a tough first four, and then they've got the Titans.
It's very mixed. I don't mind that draw, to be honest, especially early. You know,
I like the draw.
3 out of 5 are solid.
After the first price change, I like the draw. It opens up quite a bit. I have a feeling Walsh might go back into that guy where you've got to time to run with him maybe a bit more for Supercoach next year. I don't like starting with him. 835K for Walsh with Penrith in the Storm within the first 3 weeks. I don't like.
That's
especially when there's much better value at fullback at the moment with the likes of Ponga. You've obviously got Keeney, but you've already mentioned Fuller, Turbo. Like there is a few really good value players where, and looking at your team, like you've already mentioned, you do want to start with a cheaper fourth, but you might be able to go less with Walsh and save 200 odd K, even 300 odd K, depending who you go with, and just go like an extra 150, 200K in that fourth spot in centre wing and get a really good value player.
Yeah, 100%.
That's
absolutely.
Where I'd
like
go.
Someone like a Warbrick at 413 is good value. Yeah, I agree.
The good thing you've got a safety blanket of having Tedesco still, where Me and
100%.
Jesse don't have that for now. We've got to go, all right, let's go all in with the likes of Ponga and that. We spoke about this, remember, last year. We said, if you can start with one or two of these big guy guns, like we're all doing it with Herbie, it allows you to play around if it does go to shit within the first few weeks. You can free that money up drastically, and you can then go and do some big trades and fix up some of these mistakes where if you start very low to start with, you basically put yourself into a corner because if it doesn't work, you're stuffed. You can't do anything with your team.
We did that a lot last year when it came to having the cheap flex. You know, it was the introduction of the flex, and we went Iongi and Duffy.
Iongi, yeah.
Duffy didn't work. Iongi obviously did for, owners that waited a while enough. But Duffy hurt a lot for fullback, for halfbacks, and we had to rip teams apart to get him. I just don't know, like you've got options, especially in this value fullbacks now. So like there's players there for it. I think you'll be fine. Hey, if you're not like that, we don't need to go to 230k flex players. Like you've obviously got a cheap one in your flex, Troll. There's probably a way to get an extra couple of 100k if you don't have Keeney, because I don't think you had Keeney in your side to get that potential.
Yeah, I do. I started him.
There you go. So you've got it's just money, man. You got to find that spread. But if you've got Teddy and Walsh, you could definitely afford to cut one down to start with. I just want to see Walsh do it again to start the year. I expect what we expect from Teddy. I expect that every single year, all the time. And he's a captain every week. Walsh ended so freaking hot. It was just unnaturally good. And then he kept rolling on into the internationals. Like, okay, maybe he's just sort of turned into this new animal. If he can start, at least weeks 1 and 2 with like some banging scores, I go, okay, like Reece Walsh is business this year. And then I think it's going to be a debate. Who do you target? If Teddy's on fire again, do you go Walsh or do you go, that Teddy route again? When was the Broncos bye?
4. Oh, sorry. No, that's not.
It's not for a while, is it?
Yeah. Hang on 1 second. I've got it here.
Yeah, no, it's not for a while. But their draw opens up after round
12.
3, in my opinion.
Yeah, so round 12.
So it's right on Origin. So you're going to lose him anyway.
So round 3, they play the Storm. Then they've got the Dolphins at Suncorp. Then they got the Titans at Seabus. Then they got the Cowboys three in a row.
Shit.
Then they got the Cowboys at Suncorp. Then they got the Tigers. Then they got the Bulldogs. You'll guess where that is. Roosters at Allianz. Sea Eagles at Four Pines. Then they've got the Wars at Suncorp in 11. And then they got the round 12 bye.
That's wild, that run. That's 3 Queensland games in a row.
Yeah, but I mean, it's the Broncos.
That's where I'd bring him in after the first price change. Then I'd say, let's look.
You get him in for the Titans game, surely. Yeah, look, it's hard, eh? It's hard, but there's a massive shout for him early. There you go. It's just big bickies. What a team. What a fullback and flex. God, I don't think you can't get better. Genuinely.
No.
There you go, mate. There you go. That's it. That's team list. That's our first.
Picker.
How fun. We're back.
That did something to me. I don't know what it did, but it did something. It got some things working that I forgot even worked in my body. So there you go.
Holy moly. It's been a long off season.
Any questions or anything like that you guys wanted to run over or anything else, or we're good, Trav?
I'm good, man.
How much did you have in the bank?
37k for me.
53k for me.
17.5. So we pretty much spent a lot of it. I'm going to get it to 0.
He's getting it to 0. He'll do a team that gets him to 0, 100%. So
yeah, if I'm happy,
that'll be in the comments for sure. Yeah, that's it, guys. Make sure you're in the comments. Yeah, let us know how you are all going. Obviously, this is very, very early still. The app's not even open to half of the Supercoach world at the moment. So that is all okay. We'll continue to unravel things. Obviously, now we'll go away for a couple of weeks again and have our nice festive break and things like that. So this will be we've actually got a little podcast series coming out over the next couple of weeks. Myself and Trav would run over just the top positions from just an NRL point of view, and just there'll be little quick podcasts. So just to give you all a bit of footy fix, there's not much happening at the moment, so I thought you'd all appreciate listening to a bit of footy just while you're finishing up work, things like that, driving around. So thank you very much. Make sure you like, subscribe, all that jazz. Go over to become a legend. Plenty will be happening in that over the next few weeks. It'll be all kicking off Merry Christmas, firstly, and thank you to all our sponsors who have already jumped on board. If you do own a business, if you want to be part of the page in 2026, it's so many huge events are coming up, guys. It's going to be a massive year. It's the best time to be part of it. So make sure you message the page if you are interested. Or send me an email, joel@leagueofinches.com.au. Boys, Merry Christmas. Happy New Year. I'll talk to you all before that, obviously, but officially on a podcast. There you go. All everyone out there, thank you very much for an incredible year. This is pretty much a sign-off for 2025. So it's a very big year. Thank you very, very much. Go and obviously we haven't touched on it, but just a quick one. Obviously, the unfortunate events that happened on Sunday, we wanted to go a bit more and basically give you guys a bit of positivity with this podcast and not get down in the dumps with everything that's happened. It's been a very tough, I'll be honest, I've had some really tough moments with it all. It's been hard to see a lot of it that's happened and obviously kids and things like that involved. And the amount of times I've been around that stretch of Bondi, it makes it very surreal. I've always been there with family and that. So really sending our best wishes out to all of those affected. We obviously can't do anything, but hopefully those words can just help you at some point. Donated, things like that. If you can go give blood, I believe they're still looking. So do that if you are in the Sydney area. But give a loved one a cuddle, give them a kiss. It's horrible to see, but thank you, Supercoach 2026 officially started, boys. I can't wait. We will have I'll put out a big post soon. We'll go from there, but good night, good evening, good day, whatever it is. See you later.
Legend.